When I was working in Durham, we joined together between the Church of England and all the other churches in the region to encourage people to read the Gospels together during Lent. It was a wonderful ecumenical effort, and individuals and groups were able to come in new ways and explore this text together. And that's what we're trying to do through this whole project with Matthew for this Lent. Matthew chapters 1 to 4 leads us quickly to the point of Jesus' temptation. And often at the beginning of Lent, we think about temptation, the whispering voices, the sudden surges of emotion or imagination that are going to lead us often to things which are good in themselves, but not good just now or not in this way. And we can inhabit the story of Jesus' temptation and see how his victory can be ours as well. But then Matthew takes us quite quickly into what we now think of as the Sermon on the Mount, chapters 5, 6 and 7. For years I worried about these Beatitudes, blessed are the meek, the poor in spirit, etc., because they seem to be setting such a high bar that we were supposed to get up to, until I realised that actually what the Beatitudes are all about, what the Sermon on the Mount is all about, is this is how God's kingdom is coming on earth as in heaven. When we expect God to do something in the world, we think he's going to send in the troops, send in the tanks to push the opposition out of the way. What Jesus is saying is that God's blessing comes on the world not through violence, but through the meek, through the hungry for justice people, through the people who are mourning because of the sorrow in the world, through the people who are longing through their own struggles after purity of heart, to be people through whom God's kingdom can come and God's will be done on earth as in heaven, as we are taught to pray in the Lord's Prayer, which is the focal point of the Sermon on the Mount. So as we read Matthew 1 to 4, and then particularly the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, 6 and 7, let's this Lent see what we can be, how we can be, who we can be, so that we can be the people through whom God's blessing can come on earth as in heaven.